Welcome to the Hancock County, Mississippi tech demo of our National Institute of Standards and Technology Point Cloud City project for Pscr 2020, the digital experience. My name is Joel Lawhead, and I am the project lead. I'm co-presenting with our lead engineer, Wayne Francis. Before I turn it over to Wayne for the technical details, I'm going to give you a little background on our project. The principal investigator is the Hancock County Emergency Management Agency in partnership with geospatial contractor Envision Solutions. Hancock County is a coastal county on the Gulf of Mexico, Mississippi. The project created indoor maps of public school buildings using laser imaging, detection, and ranging, also known as Lidar. The EMA chose 10 public schools totaling over 1.2 million square feet of indoor space. The sites included a mixture of older and newer buildings distributed throughout the county in both rural areas and small towns with 10,000 people or less. The Point Cloud City projects as a whole provide a range of sites from rural areas up to densely populated cities across a variety of building styles and types. The Hancock County EMA coordinates with fire and law enforcement for any crisis and takes the lead for natural disasters. In addition to the inherent safety goals of schools, the buildings are also used as hurricane shelters. Mapping schools potentially provides a diverse set of training opportunities for multiple agencies. Now I'm going to turn it over to Wayne to show you a demonstration of the ZebRevo mapping system we used to collect both 270-degree full-color video along with Lidar data, which gives us 3D measurements.
Here we see the captured sequence of the school break room. We have a printer and some vending machines in the foyer, as well as a table and some appliances in the sink area. What we're going to see here is a transition from the video sequence to a rendered sequence of the point cloud. This point cloud has been decimated by 40 times in order to allow for timely rendering of the video that you're seeing. Another feature of this combination camera LiDAR system is that the accelerometry provides an estimation of the pose of the trajectory of the camera as you traverse the space. It allows us to synchronize camera movement in the model world to match the camera pose in the original video. It gives us this next capability. And then in a fraction of the time into it, we transition from the point cloud to a synchronized video sequence, both the point cloud and the original photography.
This is Joel again. So Wayne just showed us how we use the ZebRevo indoor mapping system to collect both video and LiDAR measurements coincidentally. So we had a visual reference and a measured reference. We next had to identify features in that data that were relevant to first responders, such as fire alarms, fire extinguishers, doors, and other things. We had to embed that information into the LiDAR data to create a complete 3D indoor model. So we used the YOLO machine learning framework to automatically identify as many features as we could. So Wayne's going to show you that next.
Now here's this video of that same space, only now we're running it through the YOLO toolchain. This YOLO toolchain allows us to recognize common objects such as chairs, televisions, appliances, allows us to automatically tag those, as well as give us a bounding box. The centroid of the bounding box allows us to pick a position in the 3D model corresponding to that, which we later use for tagging. The YOLO toolchain can be expanded to specific objects of interest by training the algorithm on a variety of images of the topic of interest, such as fire alarms, alarm panels, and those sorts of objects.
Joel here. So the YOLO machine learning framework that Wayne just showed you is really good, but it's far from perfect. So to finish out the data set, we had to manually tag a lot of features. So Wayne's going to show you that process now.
This first video sequence showcases some of the feature challenges for automation. As we enter the hallway, basically an entryway with glass doors exiting one wing and then crossing over into another wing of the school, what we see is we have a large bank of glass windows on either side, as well as glass doors for entry into the facility. There's an alarm panel and an exit sign, which will also get tagged as part of our process. Here, what we want to see is that the windows themselves are very difficult to distinguish from the glass doors themselves, and our YOLO approach does not allow us to distinguish those with reliability. What we do instead is we go in and manually tag the edges of these window frames. And you can see there are a bank of 4 window panes with an additional 3 window panes across the top, including across the top of the doorways. Those each get tagged as window panes, and then the 2 doors will get tagged as doors. The nature of the Lidar scheme means that when we transition to point cloud, we have a very, very scarce amount of points that are tagged in that glass surface as the light and the Lidar has gone straight through the glass. There's only a few specular reflectances to give you any indication that there's a surface in between the panes of the frame. In this next segment, we see the double doors position us from the entryway with the glass in to the rest of the school wing. Those double doors present us a new problem in that as we scan them, they are open. Obviously, those doors don't need to be captured in their open position because they don't represent the doorway. So instead, what we're really trying to capture is that threshold. And so what we do is we capture the 4 points represented by the open doors. Transition back to the point cloud, you can see that we select 4 corners. Again, this is something that an automated tool would struggle with if it attempted to locate those doors based on their open swing position, as recognized in the video. In this next sequence, we see a number of windows which are obscured by curtains. These curtains prevent the automation in the YOLO application from detecting these windows and identifying them correctly. Instead, we find ourselves going in and manually marking the thresholds of the windows by their frame from the point cloud. Even manually localizing these features is problematic in some cases. Look at this video example where you see 3 blue doors and a bright blue chair. As we transition to the point cloud, the 2 doors mounted in a recessed fashion, which is to say that their door swing opposite the scanned wall surface, have plenty of definition and opportunities for us to identify their frame. However, as we transition to the door which is mounted flush with the scanned wall, we find that while the door handle and the window are clearly visible in the point cloud, we really lack the definition to identify the edges of the door frame and the surface of the wall. As a consequence, we're left with context clues from the surrounding features.
On behalf of Hancock County, we hope you enjoyed our tech demo and thank you for watching today. Enjoy the rest of the conference.